Okay, here's a trick that I use when I am doing DIY kits. I like to allow the customer to have the letters come nested inside the wood that they are cut in. So when they apply the paint, it leaves the lines clean and they're not having to hold little teeny pieces while they paint. So for the January subscription, I went ahead and I cut all of the layer pieces out of 1/8 inch MDF. I already cut the mason jar out of a 1/4 inch Baltic birch, and that's already in the box. And so I'm going to show you how I get all of these pieces to stay together. So I'm going to take masking tape, and what you do is you don't necessarily need to cover the whole thing, you just need to cover at least the areas to grab it, because we are going to then attach masking tape onto the back, so when they paint they have a nice uncovered area. Okay, so when you do all of these little teeny words, make sure you rub it over so it gets all the holes for the O's and the A's and stuff. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect because we are going to then transfer the masking tape to the back. This is just getting it out. And this will also be so easy when packaging, because you yourself don't need to make sure that every little letter is in the box, because nothing would be worse than to find some random B on the floor and wonder who didn't get the B for their sign. So this just keeps it nice, less pieces for you, less pieces for them. Gives a more finished look. It does take a little bit more time, but I think in the long run, the peace of mind and the ease is worth a little bit of extra steps in the beginning. And once you get used to this, it will go faster. Okay, so now you can see that we've got all the pieces out of their cut board. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to flip over the pieces and we're going to run masking tape along the back. In this case, I think I'm using, it looks like this is 1.5 inch masking tape. And here again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be enough to hold all the pieces together. And then you can remove the front. If your masking tape is wider than the board, you can always just run your X-Acto knife over it to keep the edges nice and clean. Make sure you pay close attention to this one, because this one has a lot of little teeny letters and words. You want to make sure you capture all of them. There again, some of the tape got over the edges. I'll just clean it off with my X-Acto knife. Okay, 2 more to go. Make sure it covers the little bits and pieces. having the words nested in the wood that they were cut from really will make it easier for your customer to paint, which will make them happy, which will bring them back to you month after month because they know that you can trust your work. No big deal. The little hole for the V came out. That's not gonna be horrible. Don't stress about it. It happens. And then with this, this outline of the flower will go on top of the backer piece. So all these little pieces will eventually get discarded. Okay, but there you have it. All your pieces ready to go to their forever home to get painted. Hi friends, let's talk packaging. So for January's monthly subscription box that you will send out to your customers, this is how your packaging should look. It'll probably vary, obviously, but let's go over the things that you'll want to supply to your customers. Okay, first you're gonna want to supply paint. I suggest 5 colors. You could do an optional 6th color. We have white, brown, black, red, gray. You could also provide cream. If you don't provide cream, that's fine. I'm going to show your customer how to mix the white and the brown together to get a cream. You also want to provide a stiffer bristle brush, and that's so they can get the antiqued wood look for the wood planking on the mason jar. You're going to want to provide a little tube of super glue. You can buy these at the dollar store. I believe you get 2 of them for $1, or you can get them on Amazon. They all end up being roughly 50 cents a tube. Let me backtrack. These cups are 2-ounce little disposable Dixie cups. I think I got these ones at Costco. I know you can get them out Amazon, and you can get smaller packages of them at Walmart. The lids work great. These are 2 ounces. However, I don't believe these will mail very well. So these are great for local pickups. If you're going to mail, you may want to invest in a different type of container. All right, the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna provide a little baggie with some more supplies. I'm gonna walk your customers through how to do the galvanized paint look. So you'll wanna give them a couple little pieces of bubble wrap. If you don't have bubble wrap, you can give them a paper towel or even like a grocery bag, something that they can get a crinkled look with. You're gonna wanna provide them with 2, probably 3 makeup sponges. I usually like to give 1 makeup sponge per 2 colors of paint. They can always cut them in half. So this would be technically 6 once they're cut in half. I give them 5 Q-tips for any cleanup issues or for spreading super glue onto small pieces that need to get glued down. I'm going to walk the customer through staining using the brown acrylic paint. So you're going to want to give them a sponge. I buy these sponges. Let me see if I have a 4-pack of these sponges just from Walmart. I believe it was like $1.97, maybe $2.97 for 4 of them. And what I do is I cut the sponges into thirds and then cut them in half. So right here you're looking at 24 sponges. Then you're going to want to provide the jute or the twine that will get wrapped around the lid of the mason jar. You'll want to give them about 5 to 6 feet of jute. And then in this baggie, you're going to provide 2 or 3 baby wipes, and that's just for easy cleanup, for touch-ups, just to have on hand. I provide 2 disposable plates, and that's for mixing paint colors, for cleaning off paint brushes if there's too much paint on them. And then your wood cutouts. Now I walked you through a little earlier how to keep your cutouts in their nesting piece of wood using masking tape. And this just makes it so much easier for you and your customer to make sure that they got all the pieces involved for this sign. And then lastly, the main piece. So, and then let me show you here. Let me just move this box a little bit so you can see I taped the instructions to the top lid. So when they open it up, they'll be able to see the instructions. Super handy. All right, so when you go to package, you can put, something's caught. Okay. Yeah, you can put all your wood together. Some people like to run saran wrap over all their pieces, so all of their wood stays together during shipping. But having them in these cutouts really also helps with all the movement. You'll put in your paints. Again, if you did cream, you would have 6 cups of paint. And the nice thing of this is you can use practically any craft paint. If you went to Walmart and bought apple barrel paint, you would get, what is it, 50 cents for a bottle of paint, and you would pour about 10 milliliters is plenty. If you want to weigh it, go for it, or you can just kind of eyeball it. But if you did 10 milliliters of acrylic paint, you could get 6 applications out of 1 bottle. So in essence, if you were to provide them 6 colors, that's about a bottle of paint. You're looking at 50 cents for paint. So it's really not going to break the bank to provide paint. You can also charge a little bit less to your customer and not provide the paint. It's up to you how you want to run it. But if you wanted to do it, everything in the box, ready to go, this is a very economical way to do so. And then you would just load it up, close it, write their name on it, and it's ready for pickup. Okay, I just wanted to jump on here to make a quick edit to your packing slip. So when I was assembling this in my tutorial for your customer, I became aware that the super glue does not hold the flour onto the mason jar. The super glue soaks into the jute and it does not allow it to get a good surface connection, and therefore it does not hold the flour on. So I would suggest when you sell your file, you can, or sorry, your DIY kit, you can either advise your customers to use a hot glue gun to adhere the flowers, or you can include 2 large glue dots. Glue dots come in a roll. They might come individually, I don't know. The ones I buy come in a roll. So you can just cut 2 off. You can see that there's 2 glue dots here. You can provide 3 or 4 if you would like. And now to mail them, I would suggest you take either wax paper or parchment paper to sandwich them in between, and then just staple it all together. And that should keep the glue dots protected during packaging. Another item that I would suggest you sand is it was fun to add a little bit of distressing to this to get the finished look. You can go to the dollar store and get like a 24-pack of super cheap fingernail files that are perfect for lightly sanding and distressing edges. You could also sand a small square of sandpaper, but I would include these in your packing, your DIY packaging as well.